Alright, so this video is of course for the new opening animations for the animated show RWBY for Volume 2, Season 1, Volume 2, or Season 2 if you want to call it that, but it is technically still Season 1, Volume 2, and I don't know why the actual opening is unlisted right now, so hopefully Rooster Teeth doesn't kill me for doing this, but I'm just trying to spread the love to you guys. But I'm gonna put the link below because I of course have it, so I've seen that the opening, so you guys can check it out for yourselves, and I won't just be talking about it and showing pictures and stuff. And that way you can actually hear the music because it is a new song. It's not of course the same opening. It's a brand new opening, new animations. We get to see new characters, we hear new music, new locations. It's all types of stuff. It's just brand new. It looks like a huge open scale for volume 2 of the show, and it looks just as good, or well, it looks better than volume 1, and I cannot wait to see it. I was already excited because I love the first volume, and then we get our first actual look. I never looked at the production diaries and stuff because I didn't want to see them talking about it. I just kind of wanted to wait until they had something to show because that's what, of course, we all want to really see. And now we have it, and it's amazing. We get to see all the characters. We get to see, like I said, old characters, new characters. We get to, like any anime opening, because it's of course sort of anime based, it gives us hints as to what we're gonna see in a very vague aspect. Like it shows certain characters doing certain things, and there, of course, I'm gonna show you guys some screen caps from the trailer itself, so I can actually talk about some of the things that happen in it. But right off the bat, like I said, the music is brand new. It's a brand new song. I'm gonna look up the title of it because they actually have the song here. It's called "Time to Say Goodbye." I think it's a good song. I don't personally like it more than "This Will Be the Day" because that song just kind of blew me away when I first heard it. It was like one of those songs when you first hear a song, you listen to it for a couple of days nonstop. I listened to that song for a couple of weeks nonstop, and it was just, I get in the car, I listen to the song. Before I get out of the car, I gotta listen to the song. I'm walking around, I'm listening to the song. I have it as my ringtone. I just love that freaking song, and that was when it first started. So it was for a couple of weeks, and I've never done that with any other song. But the songs in RWBY, if you really like the show like I do, the songs are amazing, especially the ones with actual vocals. The instrumental songs are good too, but the ones that actually have vocals in them are just like mind-boggling how good those songs are. And I was curious as to whether or not they were going to make new songs for this one, and it seems like it's going to be just like Volume 1 where they have maybe 5 or 6 songs where there are actually vocals in them. So it'll be cool to get all those new songs, and it'll be interesting to see how long they keep that going where they make new songs for every volume, because that's crazy work to just come up with great music. So it'll be cool to see that happen from volume to volume, what cool new songs we get. But down to some of the real serious information that comes out of this trailer, and it's of course the biggest moments in the trailer, and that is the new groups that are formed. And one of the first new group we actually get to see is Sun Wukong and his group, which really interested me because I was wondering, considering his introduction, I was curious how his character was going to blend into the story, if he was going to be sort of a nomad type of character where he stays in the town but he doesn't actually get to go to the school. But it turns out that he does get his own group, and these are the characters. Now I'm sure their names are out there somewhere, but you might have to look at the production diaries to find that information. I know, of course, they obviously have drawn the characters and animated them and stuff, so they obviously have names and backstories and all that stuff. But I don't know the characters' names except for Sun because, of course, he's the character that we were introduced to. And I definitely like the group, especially the guy with the sort of robotic arm. I'm very curious as to whether or not that is robotic, or it could just be like armor or something like that. I don't know. I could just be seeing it how I want to see it. But it looks kind of robotic. I like his outfit in general because he just has like a cool long jacket and stuff. The guy on the very end with the blue hair is pretty cool. I'm curious as to what his gun turns into, or if it's just a gun, but it has like a secondary fire that's more brute force than, I guess, gun tactics. I don't really know how to explain it. But the guy in the, I guess, middle left next to Sun, I'm curious as to what his power is too. He doesn't, there's nothing that really gives any indication as to what he could or could not do. and that makes me really curious. Like he has the little cape, and that just honestly it just makes me think maybe he's rich or something. I don't know, but he has the cape, and there's really nothing else. He has a glove on one hand, but not on the other. Maybe that shows maybe he's a magic user. I don't know. That's something that just randomly popped into my head, but it's cool to see Sun have his own group, and I'm curious as to what they're gonna call it. If it's gonna go by his first name, it'll have something with an S, so it could be anything. I don't know, but these characters definitely look cool. I'm really curious. Like I said, the guy with the green hair, I just really want to see if that is a robotic arm and what he can really do with it, because that seems really interesting to me. And then of course we have our second new group, which is actually a character that, even though she was introduced before Sun, I feel like we have even less information on her, which is really interesting. But that character is Velvet, and the first thing I noticed when I was looking at it, I actually noticed the girl all the way on the left just because she was closest to the screen, to be completely honest with you. But when I actually looked at Velvet herself, it's weird to see how different she actually looks compared to her school uniform, which she was in the other episodes. But I'm curious as to what her skills are. Like, I assume with her being a lot like Blake, she has skills that make her fast like a rabbit because she has the rabbit ears. But I don't know. I'm just throwing out guesses because I think every person who, whatever like animal they kind of are, they have those skills. Like I thought Blake kind of had sort of she had cat like reflexes in a sense. That's why she could do sort of the shadow image stuff and move really quickly. Maybe the same thing works for Velvet, where she has like real super speed, almost like RWBY does, which I don't know. Like, it's so hard to really guess how these people got their powers because we've only had a couple episodes, considering all the story that we've been given in this world and all the characters and powers. The 16 episodes we've had so far is almost like nothing because we don't know how you get your powers, your semblances, and stuff like that. Like Pyrrha having the power of polarity and stuff like that. We don't know how they get those powers. If they choose them, if they're like bloodline type things, who knows? But maybe Velvet has some sort of super speed ability as well that's even faster than anyone else in the show. And she has like sort of her battle armor setup is sort of skimpy actually, but she has like just, I wouldn't know what to call it, but like just the long black, a leotard, that's what I was thinking. It's like a long black leotard, and then she kind of has the battle armor over it a little bit. And like I said, she seems fairly open. I mean, of course, most of the characters do in the show, but she seems like she'd be really unprotected. So I feel like she has a lot more speed and agility compared to most other characters. And then you have, like I said, the woman on the far left. The purse that she has is a lot like a bandolier because the actual strap itself just has all bullets on it. So I'm really excited to see what's in the purse, or if the purse itself is just like a gun and you can see bullets on like the bottom of the gun, and it would, or I guess the bottom of the bag, and it would be so cool if those were, they all just shot out at once, or if they were like little tiny smart missiles or something crazy like that. That would be cool. And it looks like she has something in her left hand. I don't know if that could just be a part of her clothing. It could also be like a blade that's kind of open, but I'm thinking it's really just a part of her clothing. I do like her look though, because she has sort of a almost like steampunk old English style look, and I actually like that. It looks really cool to me. So I'm really curious to see what exactly, if the purse is the weapon, or if there's something in the purse, and then the bag itself kind of transforms, and then whatever weapon is inside, all the bullets just transfer into it from the bag, or just however she does it. But she looks really cool. And then we have the guy next to her, and a lot like the guy on Sun's team, he kind of has sort of a robotic element going on, but not nearly on the same level as the other guy because he just has it on his hands. And it's mostly on his left hand, where I'm wondering if his hand is actually made of metal, or it could just be another scythe. That's most likely what it is, just another blade. But it has like a handle there, so I'm assuming that he has, just like all the other weapons, everything turns into a gun at some point, somehow. So I think he can like shoot bullets from the front of it, or maybe from the blade where it's actually black on the top edge or bottom edge, depending on how you look at it. But at the tip of the blade, it's black, and that could actually be where the barrel is for the gun itself. So when he does like a slash, by the time he ends that slash, the tip of the blade will be pointing at his enemy, and then he could pull the trigger, and then he would shoot the enemy as well. So that seems like he'd be pretty cool. He seems like he'd also be an agile character based on the fact that he has sort of up close type of weapons. So I'm really excited to see him sort of do some of his moves too, and it would be a lot like swordplay, but at the same time it's not, because it would be more like daggers because they're so close to his person compared to being thrust outward towards his enemy. So excited to see that as well. Then we have the big guy on the end who has this huge broadsword, and it looks really plain and simple. So I don't know what his weapon turns into, and not every weapon is turned into a gun. Like on Team Cardin himself, his weapon, I didn't see it do anything yet, but it has like a weird symbol. It looks like it could actually shoot like lasers off the top. I don't really know yet because we haven't seen it. But this guy's weapon, it seems fairly simple, and his weapon could also be a lot like Weiss's weapon, where it uses dust rather than bullets, because not everything has to shoot bullets. It could use magic. So it would be cool if his weapon used magic as well, and it infused his blade. And he didn't do the same thing as she did, of course, but he did it in a more power-based way. That would be cool to see. And I do like his costume as well. His is pretty cool. I like the green and just the look of it. He has like a real statuesque army type of look to him. And it seems like he'd actually be the leader of their group, but that's just me kind of just going based off of the look. He could easily be the woman on the left, and that would actually be really cool because honestly, I just like how she looks the most. So I don't know, her character seemed interesting based off of that, but that's just first glance me making assumptions on the characters. But those are two of the new teams, and then of course we have our final, I can't really call it a team, but we have our final shot of a large group, and that's actually Penny's group with her corporation, whoever that might be. And that has me really excited as to these couple of new characters that we're going to get. I think some will have names, others won't really have actual titles to their characters. But we have Penny, and she's kind of looking down and stuff, and that's one of the interesting things about it is her, when she was captured at the end of the, I guess, volume 1 finale, she was taken away, and it was like, she's combat ready, but she's not exactly people ready and, world ready. So I'm assuming that the guy in the middle is the guy who was talking to her inside the car. He's the guy who created her, basically. And to his left and right, we have our reference to, of course, Red versus Blue. I have to assume that's what the reference is. And they'll throw that in there somehow outside of the colors that they're red and blue. But they have their names, and they'll be leaders of like red group, blue group, stuff like that, I'm sure. But they're the more military based aspect. Based on this look, they all have the same sort of pose with their arms behind their back, and they're all standing straight up. And then we have sort of the two people off to the side, the guy and the girl, and they'll probably be like the assistant scientists or something like that. So I'm curious to see how they play into the show as well. And this is one of the huge aspects that just shows how big the show's going to be as far as volume 1 or volume 2. And then it's really interesting to look at this, because when you see it, it's like this little aspect, it's such a quick little scene, but at the same time, it's going to clearly be a huge deal for this show. So it has me really excited as to the structure of volume 2 and how the episodes are going to be, because for anyone who watched volume 1, most of the episodes were fairly short, and I'm wondering if they're going to do the same for volume 2, and they're going to stay really short, or if they're going to do longer episodes, or if they're just going to do way more episodes for volume 2, because in this season, with them showing this, they obviously indicate the fact that Penny's going to still be in the show, so they're going to talk about the scientist, her background, at least a little bit. But then, of course, we have the other side of this season, which is going to be the villains coming in, and that was one of the other groups that they showed, which you can see right here. And this group is characters we mostly know. One of my favorite things about this, though, is that they're bringing back the people from Yang's trailer, especially the two girls, because I like the fact that one girl was like the martial arts girl with her feet, and then the other girl was like the martial arts girl, but hand-to-hand combat. So I like them in Yang's trailer, even though they got their butts whooped. I'm curious to see them come back, as well as the guy, because they'll both, or all three of them, I guess, will kind of be going straight for Yang more than anyone else, because they actually got beat up by her. And the guy, I guess he didn't lose his bar, but all his people got beat up and he got beat up and stuff. So it's cool to see them in there. Of course, we have Cinder and her two members. I can't think of their names right now, but we have them as well as Roman Torchwick. So I'm excited to see them come in, and we also get a little bit of action with them. But we get more stuff. We get a couple of the I think they're called Beowulfs. That's not the name. I can't think of the name of the characters. But then we get this really cool scene where it's basically just every good guy and like all the teams at once just falling to the ground, and that makes it feel like there's going to be a giant battle at the end of this season. And I can't wait to see that because they make it look like it's just going to be an all-out war. And then once we get that little glimpse, we go straight to what I believe is the tournament, where I don't know why it's Pyrrha fighting all of Team Cardinal. Maybe that's how the tournament works, where it's team versus team and it's not one-on-one. So that could be why Pyrrha is fighting all four of them at one time, and she ended up being the last person standing for some reason. Although I just couldn't imagine, like, Jean's team, I don't see them losing, even though Team Cardinal, yeah, they're strong. Like, Cardin's strong. I don't know about any of the other guys. But, like, Pyrrha's so good. With her plus three other people, they should be able to win in, like, 2 seconds. But that might be why she's fighting them all at one time. And no one else is kind of jumping in because it's some sort of weird elimination type thing. Like, you can't move out this side of this specific space or something like that. Who knows? But then we get the scene where it's like Yang fighting one of Cinder's people, the guy, and he looks like he uses his feet, and then it transitions into Weiss fighting the girl who has two blades, and then it goes to Blake fighting Torchwick again, and it seems like they're kind of setting up that Team RWBY is going to go up against these bad guys in this certain order. Like, they'll basically have their counterparts as far as good and bad, so that'll be pretty cool to see. And of course, they already did Blake versus Roman in the season finale, volume 1 finale, so that'll be cool. And then of course RWBY is fighting the main villain, who's going to be Cinder. So it's cool that they're kind of setting up like each character has their own nemesis from the, I guess, the bad side, so to speak. So I'm really excited for season 2. There's so much more, of course, we're not getting out of this trailer, but, or I guess out of the opening, I should say. But what we've gotten is definitely really good. And some little stuff is like, Jean putting his hand on Pyrrha's shoulder is basically the complete opposite of what happened in the Volume 1 opening. So it does also lead to the fact that maybe Pyrrha's going to have more of a prominent role in this season, and a lot how Jean had his moment where we find out why he was so upset at that statue, and it wasn't just I have to live up to my role. It's like I have to live up to my role so bad that I had to lie to get into this school. So maybe we'll get a really big moment like that from Pyrrha, and maybe it'll be how she got her polarity, and it won't just be, oh, she earned it. Maybe it was some tragic situation or something like that, and maybe she's doubting herself because all these crazy things are happening that remind her of the past, and she's doubting herself again. Who knows? But I'm loving the opening title. We got more villains, we got more heroes, we got more neutral people. I'm sure not every single person's just gonna be a hero, but great song, great animation, and I cannot wait for season 2, or I guess volume 2, to start up. And it does start up, I believe, in June. I think it's like June 16th or July 16th, something like that. But definitely excited for it. Of course, comment below, let me know what you guys thought of it once you went and checked it out. You know, come back here and put what you guys think is going to happen in season 2 based off of this opening. And thanks for watching this. I know it's a super long video, but I had no idea this was out until today. It actually was officially released yesterday, so I had to go through, had to really talk about this. And you know, it got me, I was already pumped up because I love this show. I still watch it every once in a while, the old episodes, see some cool fights, hear some funny jokes. And then I saw that this was out, and I had to just do a video on it because it's such a good show. And this has me even more hyped up. The one thing that I do have to say, though, is that we don't see Adam in this, and that really sucks to me. And Adam's the guy from Blake's trailer, the guy who was like the samurai in the suit. I really wanted to see him, and I do really, really hope we get him in Volume 2, because I'm crazy for like ninja characters and stuff like that, and samurai. And I just want to see Blake versus Adam so bad, or just Adam versus anybody, because I really want to know the specifics of his power, like him having the weird charge at the end of Blake's trailer when he destroyed that entire robot, and he basically like absorbed the color in the world and then just destroyed it. I just want to see him come in at some point. I hope we get him in here, and it's not like he comes in at the last episode. I really want to see him in there at some point, and I'm sure we will, because of what happened with Blake and her talking about the White Fang and all that. So I'm sure we'll get more of the White Fang, and like I said, I just want to see Adam because he's such a cool character in the trailer. I just want to see more cool action scenes with him too. But like I said, thanks for watching. Definitely check out the trailer yourself. Comment below, let me know what you guys thought about the trailer. I want you to see it. Like I said, come back here so you can discuss it and let me know what you think. And of course, thank you for watching this incredibly long video.